This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Tuesday, October 29th of 2024, and we are so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I have a clip of the latest episode on the Beck's Hybrids Harvest Tour. We had Mark Magnuson out in Sully, Iowa, to talk with Tim Vanderscale. But before we get into any of that, let's hear a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Like I said earlier, we have a clip from the latest edition of the Beck's Hybrids Harvest Tour. This time, Mark Magnuson went out to Sully, Iowa, to visit with Tim Vanderscale, a farmer out there. Talked about his journey into farming. Actually did not grow up as a farmer, but eventually found his way into that and is now raising hogs in his confinement, as well as raising row crops, corn and soybeans.
Tim, first of all, thanks for having us out to your operation. Could you tell us a little bit about your operation, please?
Well, we're a family farm. My wife and I, and then our son and our son-in-law farm together, and we also have a 5,000 head contract finishing barn for pigs, and stay pretty busy, raise corn and beans. So.
And Tim, how has harvest been going for you so far here, and especially with this field?
Better than ever. It's been a very good harvest year. The yields are good. The weather's been fantastic. We've had very minimal breakdowns. It's just up to this point, it's been going real good. So. Yep.
And Tim, this field of your operation that we're located at here today, what corn are we going to be going through and combining and harvesting here today?
The Beck 6374, I think is what it's called, or 6347. I get them mixed up.
And what have you learned about this variety this year?
Pretty good. We did get hit with a little bit of green snap on this field a little bit, but the rest of it, where it didn't hit it, looks very good. Yep, looks very good.
All right, Tim,
it's dried down very well.
That's a great starting point. Let's jump up in the cab and I'll go along with you and we'll just continue our conversation.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, it's been a great year all the way around for harvest. Just could you tell us a little bit about what's made it so good of a year for harvest?
Well, the yields have been fantastic. That might be one of the more important things. I don't know, it just seems like some years you kind of get a little bit behind, and then with several rain delays, you kind of get wound up and worked up and think you got to get so much done today. Well, with the weather we've had, it's kind of just been very relaxing to work at maybe a little more slower pace and enjoy God's good creation here. Have a little time to do that.
And Tim, has there been any days this fall that you haven't been able to get out and get work done because of the weather, or has it just been pretty agreeable all the way around?
We've had maybe 2 days that we had I think we had a 7/10 rain, but by shortly afternoon it was drying up the big corn again. Rain soaked up pretty fast. And then another day we had a little bit of a rain shower come up in the afternoon where we quit for the day, but otherwise it's been pretty much harvesting the whole time.
And what has it been like this year with how dry we closed out the season, those final 2 months? What did that do for dry down this year? Was it faster than you're used to at this point of the year?
Oh yeah, a little too fast actually. I think we lost a little bit of test weight by getting some of this corn down to the 13% range. I guess almost even more scary is how dry it is in the ground, and wanting to look forward into next year. And with my operation, we have the pump confinement, and so here shortly in a few days we'll be applying liquid manure to the ground, and a lot of guys are going to be wanting to start applying anhydrous, and it'd be nice to have some wetter soils to do that with compared to this really dry stuff.
And again, you can find the full version of the Beck's Hybrids Harvest Tour on our YouTube channel. or on our Facebook page. Let's go ahead and take a look at the closing markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, we're here with Cory Bratland of agmarket.net. First off, Cory, what do we see going on in the grain markets today?
Hi, Riley. Good to see you again. Grain markets had a stronger tone here today, at least led here by wheat market, I should say. The Kansas City wheat had the initial crop ratings out yesterday afternoon, come in at 38% rated good to excellent. The trade was looking for around 47%, so a little bit of a surprise. You couple that along with a dry Russian crop that's getting put in the ground as well and poor conditions over there. We had a wheat market up 13, 14 cents here on the day. That spilled over into the corn market. We saw corn spreads be a little favorable, where December corn up around 3 cents, the March and the May 1 to 2 higher. So we're seeing things firm up there. Soybeans continue to be the laggard, down 6, 7, 8 cents here today. We continue to have this large U.S. crop, these burdensome supplies of 550 million or so projected carry out here in the U.S. Still kind of being like a wet blanket laying on top of us, and just going to be a little hard here to rally these soybeans. We did see spreads kind of weaken a little bit on beans there today, with November kind of leading the charge lower for the soybean complex.
And then, of course, as we're getting pretty close now to wrapping up harvest, you mentioned that it's kind of sitting over the markets right now like a wet blanket. As we finish that up, how do the markets kind of move forward with digesting that situation?
Yeah, what we got to do is we got to create some more demand. We had there was some talk last night that China was bought some cargoes of grain from the U.S. and Brazil. So we are anticipating some more announcements here and of some export sales, which have been good for soybeans and corn here recently, all while China has not been buying corn from the U.S. Now, the other thing what we'll see is as the elevators processors start to chew through these ground piles, chew through supply, prices are a little bit on the lower side. So I think the farmer movement is going to be a little bit on the lax side here. And that could firm up these spreads, kind of cause the processors to maybe step in and own the boards a little bit just to firm up to try to get some cash move and firm up the basis in here in the near term.
And then looking at the cattle and hog markets, how did they trade today?
Yeah, overall, cattle had a key reversal lower here on the day. We've been seeing this market kind of run up to some strong resistance up around this 189, 189.50 on the December contract, and we hit it again. We put in a new high here for the week. However, did close lower on the day, around $1.30 or so lower on the fat cattle. We are seeing this market stay pretty flat out there for the next 4 months out here of the trading, and that's kind of a little bit of a concern here that we might see the consumer demand is kind of slow up a little bit, all while we have good supply. Feeder cattle followed suit too, down $2.50 to $3 lower. Lean hogs had a very strong day again, up December contract up $2.20. We continue to see cash higher. We continue to see the product higher. So now we're starting to see the futures maybe start to push up and try to catch that the lean hogs index, which we might have another $2 or $3 upside potential here in the hog market.
Let's see. Okay, I think we're back now. We lost signal for a moment on the internet, but I think we're good to keep going. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap us up here. Cory, lots of great information today for those of our listeners and our viewers who would like to get in touch with agmarket.net. How can they do that?
Yeah, a couple ways, Riley. You can head on over to our website, which is just agmarket.net, or if you'd like to reach out to our toll-free number at 844-424-6758.
All right, Cory, thanks again for taking the time to give us that analysis today, and we look forward to talking again soon.
Excellent. Appreciate the time, Riley.
That again was Cory Bratland of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how the numbers close through the market window at iowaagnet.com. December corn up 3 even at 413 3/4. November soybeans down 8 3/4 at 965 1/4. December soybean meal down $3 at 301.80. Soybean oil up 11 cents at 42.80. Chicago wheat up 11 3/4 at 570 1/2. Kansas City hard red wheat up 12 3/4 at 574 1/4. Minneapolis spring wheat up 11 1/4 at 606 1/2. December oats up 4 1/4 at 384 even. On the Merc, December live cattle down $1.32 at 187.95. November feeders down $2.60 at 246.60. Lean hogs up $2.20 at $82.82. December pork cutout up $2.50 at $95 even. And November Class 3 milk up 12 cents at $20.25. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. That also brings us to the end of today's episode. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM/PM on our YouTube channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. And don't forget to check out our entire series of the Beck's Hybrids Harvest Tour. Also check out our free midday, morning, and closing market podcasts, as well as the Iowa Ag Matters podcast and Pods of Potential. You can find those on your favorite podcasting service at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Dustin Huffman, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.